Yeah, well, I mean, I think we've got some decisions to make on the lineup because we've got a lot of players that need football, and we've got some fresh players. You know, obviously, Joseph comes into the thinking now. He did well on Saturday. Uh, you're right about the emotion, but I think what we're doing at the moment, which is more important, is we're building some momentum. Three wins on the bounce now, which means that we want to keep that run going. We're not going to take anything for granted. We played Miami FC. Uh, Charleston are top of that league, so it shows that they're in better form and at this moment in time a better team than Miami FC. So, and we know how much of a difficult game that was. They took us right to penalties. So, we know they're a good team. We know they're well coached and they've got a good style. We played Tormentor here last year and nearly got embarrassed. So tomorrow night it's all about attitude. It's all about keeping that momentum going, managing the freshness within the team. We are we are down to a smaller group now in terms of sort of like our status. Sergi will be out of the game tomorrow, so McVeigh and Saylor become important players for us, and we were just on about keeping momentum. Yeah, I don't think it's serious at all. I think he came off. He had tightness during the game in his calf, so we're taking precautions. He's going to get scanned later on today, as is the modern world, and I think when players go for scans, you just pray that nothing shows up. And he is a real tough cookie, and I'm sure he'll be back for New England or Nashville next week. We've got games coming up every 3 days, so we said to the team start of last week is that everyone's going to be needed, everyone's got to be ready, and tomorrow night's a game for us to go out there and build on the confidence that we're now building. Yeah, I think it's going to be a month. It's going to be a month. So that's a big loss for us, and David Ruiz will go to the U20 World Cup after the game on Saturday, which we're delighted about. We want our best players to be playing on the biggest stage, so we're proud of him and Edison and Israel Boatwright. So after Saturday's game, we'll lose another player, but it means that players have to step up, players have to be ready, and needs must. No, we've considered all angles. You look at the Gregory and Motta injury means, you know, you look at how life works. Without those two injuries, probably David Ruiz wouldn't have got an MLS contract so soon. He will have eventually. We have high hopes for him, but we had to probably escalate that decision. He doesn't play against Atlanta if the other two are playing. He doesn't have the performance like he does. So all of a sudden, he's becoming an important player. But I think with young players, you've got to look at the long-term development. And we know that he's so proud to go there for his country. And I wasn't fortunate enough to go to a World Cup, so I was never going to take that opportunity away from him and Edison and Israel. It's good for them. It's good for the club. And when they come back, they'll be even better for that experience. Well, I don't think USA have named their squad yet, have they? So today, yes. Today, yes. No, I've turned my phone off. That's he has to score. We brought him here to score. He was so emotional after the game. You knew what it meant to him. It was a great script written, and what we want to see in the next couple of matches is performance levels, consistency. Work rate, and I think it's now his moment. It's now his moment where he's got to shine. He's got to grow. He's got to have more belief, and because I think he knows that we've got so much belief in him. I saw the commissioners, and I can understand the commissioners' points of view. We went to a stadium in the last round that I thought the pitch probably wasn't great for football. But what I would say is that it actually made the cup tie even more special. In a way, it made it more difficult for us. It was a leveller, and that's what the England back in the UK, the FA Cup brings the top teams down to earth. It means that there can be upsets. There's banana skins. There's embarrassments at times, and I think that's what the US Open Cup can bring. I've loved the US Open Cup, I've got to say, and I agree. I think the standards, we have to keep investing in the US Open Cup. We have to make sure that the MLS now is on Apple TV. Can we get more TV rights? Can more games be covered? Can better quality of the coverage be covered? I think that's what the commissioner was getting at, and I think it's the push now to make everything more elite in this country. And I think every footballing nation wants a really good cup competition. I think we've got the makings of a brilliant cup competition. We saw that last year with we had a USL team in the final, which I thought was incredible advert for the competition. And I think we just need to keep investing and promoting, and I think you get your rewards when you put that kind of investment in. No, I think that bit, I think that bit could change, but it can only change with more investment, because I think it's done from an angle where a lot of these teams probably can't afford to go from east to west coast, two nights in a hotel, a chartered plane, etc. So, you're talking about that's where the investment needs to go into. If every USL club had their travel funded, expenses paid for, then you could open up the competition. But I think in the early rounds, then obviously the regional matches means that, yes, it can probably get a little bit boring and monotonous because the same teams are playing each other, but it's done for a reason. So I think if we want to make it even better, I think everyone's got to invest a little bit more into it, and I'm sure that will come. We've had some great moments in this US Open Cup. It's a cup competition that we want to win. It's the quickest way to get into the Champions League, and this club wants to play at the top level, so we're going to go for it. Well, the one thing I'd say, he was always gonna get the results. He's one of the best managers in the Premier League. His record stands for that. I think he's going to come out to Miami, Florida. He comes out here regularly. He's going to come out in the off season. Hopefully, we'll catch up for a bite to eat. He's always been an incredible mentor for me. We message each other after results. He offers his advice on players, on systems, on tactics. And that won't change, so I'm looking forward to catching him up. I think West Ham are safe now after the result yesterday, and West Ham are lucky to have him as their manager. I know they've had a difficult season, but I think they're really advanced in the Conference League, and I think what we've seen over the last month is that experience, with Neil Warnock, with Roy Hodgson, with David Moyes, really pays off. Well, I think the league table over a period of time never lies. I think you get out of it what you put into it. They've obviously, it's not the first season they've struggled. So I think the next run of games are vital. It's really tight down the bottom there. I love that football club, and I hope that they stay in the Premier League. But you think about the consistency of them being down at the bottom now. Something needs to change. I think they've got the best manager in place now. I think he suits the values of Everton Football Club that I played for. And you think about what Frank did last year about keeping them in the Premier League. They never really built off the back of that, and I think that's the key. Big injuries to big players that are probably used to playing on the top world stage, and that can perform on the top stage. But I've got to say that the job that Serena's done, the run that she's on, and the amount of talent, I think when I was leaving the job, I saw the talent in the youth teams, and the talent that's come through, the Russos, the Letitiers and the Toons now are coming into the team. There's more talent below that. There's a real conveyor belt. I've got to say, and I hate saying it, I've got to say I think we're favourites to win the World Cup. Yeah, because, well, the last 3 World Cups we've got to a semi-final. I think the consistency of this Lioness team is unparalleled to any team in the world. You think about the rivalry with the USA. USA have won World Cups, but they've also failed in World Cups too. This team has been consistent in the Euros, in the World Cups. They have a formula. They've got the confidence now since winning the Euros, and they've got the most incredible bunch of players. And I can't wait to watch them play.
Thank you.
Thank you.